Hello, everyone. We are back. Heroes Unleashed. We have me, who is the Dungeon Master. I didn't change it. I do a D&D game, so whatever. All right? I know it's not the same. Blah. We have Orion, Crimson Sage, also known as Sage. The Spice Sage? I don't get it. But anyway, Patch, Morgan, and Id, who apparently has transformed into a cactuar. So what we're going to do is do a quick recap of the events. Now, what I will say to Id, I'm going to have to pop you into a situation that you weren't prepared for because you haven't been with us for the last few weeks. So, on with the show, unfortunately. All right. Last time on Heroes Unleashed. Orion, Crimson Sage, and Morgan were lying their way out of the Los Angeles Police Department. Morgan swore up and down his international private investigator's license meant anything on U.S. soil. I'm sorry. If you don't know why I'm laughing, you got to see the last episode. It was hilarious. He's just like, no, I'm with them. He's like, I'm an agent for the Global Superhuman Task Force, which is an arm of the FBI. And the LAPD detective, who happened to be Id's partner, was like, oh, okay. So then can I see some ID? He was like, he has ID, pointing to Orion, who's sitting in the waiting room just, I wonder what's going on behind those closed doors. Can't really see what's going on. Crimson Sage with a giant wolf. Which, it happens. People do that all the time. Wolves in downtown Los Angeles. It's it's a thing. They do that all the time. The Kardashians have them. So if they got them, everybody got them. He's trying to track using Id's an article of Id's clothing that was presented and is in the process of going out and tracking. In that little span of time, the dog, which is named Shiori, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was able to sniff out as far as the apartment garage when the scent was lost, which is odd for both the dog, for both the animal and the animal trainer, because the wolf's senses are super heightened and should be able to track it over greater distances. But it is downtown Los Angeles, so there are a lot of scents, a lot of smells. I don't mean anything by it for anybody that lives in Los Angeles, but this this is where we are with them. They decided to go back to the HQ for a quick debrief because Crimson Sage was recently transplanted here from his last post, but hadn't met with the assistant director. He was put right into the field to provide backup for Orion, who was backing up Morgan for some reason, and Morgan decided that he wanted to hack the phone of the LAPD detective that was trying to help them about 5 to 6 feet away from her. Yeah, that was fun. All right. We have Patch, who is working at his home office. And by home office, I mean home laboratory. We had Seraph, who was not going to be joining us today. And he's not feeling too good. And we wish him a speedy recovery. He's under the weather. And we have Id. Id is unfortunately the focus of this current investigation because when he was admitted to the hospital for grievous injuries that he seems to be suffering every single damn game, through no fault of the GM, by the way. I take no responsibility for that. And he was in the process of being in recovery, but was checked out of the hospital by Morgan. Which is odd because Morgan has been with Orion this entire time. When Orion and Morgan had returned to the hospital to complete their investigation, to talk with Id and try to get some more leads, they realized he was checked out. They went to the security cameras. They found that Morgan had escorted Id into a car. And from there, everything became a little odd because when they went back to the nurse's station where Id was where Id was recovering, the personnel did not remember what had happened. They knew he was there, and they knew he checked him out. He checked himself out as AMA, I believe, is the term. Beyond that, there was a big fuzzy spot, but not so much for them that they would be concerned. However, the agents themselves, well, the agent and international private investigator, were concerned. So now they're back at the GSTF headquarters. They were meeting with Assistant Director Schultz, who is in the process of debriefing the group. As they were entering the building and the floor to get to the conference room, they were being led by Agent Laura Schultz, who is the Assistant Director's assistant, but she is also a full agent. She led them to the conference room. In the conference room, there were two gentlemen, the two shadowy figures that Orion had met at previous adventures. One of which had taken a special interest in Orion for some reason, maybe because he was an oversized Smurf, or because he is an alien, unsure, and the fact that he is mute and can only talk telepathically. The other one is a stoic in his Men in Black shades and suit as before. They got up and left the room as the 2.5 agents walked in, and that's where we're picking up.
Who's the assistant director again?
His name is Cameron Schultz.
And it's Laura Schultz also?
Laura Rivers.
Laura Rivers and
Lara,
Cameron.
actually, not Laura. Lara. Lara Rivers.
Lara?
Yeah. You also have your notes field, by the way. If you don't, please let me know, and I will add them later on.
Okay, so last time I had spoken to these two gentlemen, I tried to put their names in the notes section, which turned out I didn't have a notes section, and that was what alerted me to the fact that I didn't. So I need to get their names again to put them in here.
All right, so the assistant director's name is Cameron Schultz. He's the assistant director to the GSTF. And we'll call her your handler. Her name is Laura Rivers. But she also acts as the assistant to Mr. Schultz, to Director Schultz.
No, I'm talking about the spooks, the spies, the CIA guys.
Oh, I'll look for that. And as you're having that conversation, you can go ahead and do that. I will be listening and chiming in. So, Agent Orion, Agent Crimson Sage. We're going to call you Sage, if that's okay with you. Your name is way too long, and I don't have the time. He said,
Sure.
that thing is housebroken, right?
Whatever makes you comfortable.
We can always call him Bloody Mary.
So he casts a concerning glance at Shiori. So that thing is fully trained, right? Because I have a strict no ripping my throat out policy.
When I rip out your throat.
So, Agent Sage, I have your file, and you came with some glowing recommendations. My expectation is that you live up to them, and you do everything in your power to assist in this investigation. Unfortunately, we have very few leads, and we also have a pale Brit who is not assisting us as much as I would like for him to be assisting us at this point. So
I have a question.
Yes. Is this in character or out of character?
In character.
Okay, good.
I actually raised my hand.
It's like you don't have to raise your hand, Agent. Just speak.
I modestly put my hand back down. I'm supposed to assist, but I really don't have a clear directive of what it is you need of me, except for finding Detective Johnson. Why is he so important to you guys? Why is he a person of interest?
He's a person of interest because he is working for some shadow players that we need to get, um, that have been on the radar of some of our higher ups. This is unfortunately this particular branch is in its infancy. You're well aware of that. I'm sure you are.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we have more to prove than most. There is still the reticence of allowing you guys guns and badges. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a big cheerleader, but I understand the benefits, the cost benefit on that, the cost benefit with having you guys working for us as opposed to against us is one that has to be explored. Plus, we are way behind on some of our adversaries across the pond. That being said, I run a tight ship. This particular set of circumstances is not. It's not giving me good feelings because we don't have a lot of information, and I don't like working in the dark. Which is the perfect segue for you, Mr. Morgan. I would appreciate it if moving forward, you do not present yourself as an active agent of this agency. You have your license. He does this. He's like, you have your license to operate here in the U.S., but it is tentative, and it has no weight. Just understand that. You're a private investigator. You're not an agent of the law. If we deign to utilize your services, that is at our discretion. You are also not a U.S. citizen, so it is important that you understand that as well. Therefore, if you put yourself in a position where you are considered an enemy combatant, you could pretty much end up in a deep dark hole for the rest of your life, with no lawyers. I'm sure I don't have to go on. So that being said, all cards on the table, gentlemen. Let's see what we got. We have a missing LAPD detective who is central to a larger conspiracy at foot. We have a dead metahuman who was somehow transformed into some subhuman monster that thankfully was put down before she was able to inflict more damage on the public. However, that was a direct black eye to us and to the LAPD because she was able to kill a couple of the patrons at that location, at that restaurant, and injure an LAPD officer in front of GSTF agents.
Did they have footage of that?
They do, and he pulls it up. So he pulls that up, and you can see the CCTV on that. It's at an angle, but it's overhead from behind the preparer station of that restaurant. So you're looking at the girl. You're looking at Orion. You're looking at Orion's back, and Id's front. And Morgan is sitting next to Id.
Oh, hold up. I wasn't there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got there afterwards.
You're right. It was Morgan and Id. So you're looking at Id's back and Morgan's Id's front and Morgan's back. Either way, because I know I'm saying that wrong, but you see them there, and then the transformation of this woman as she just starts demolishing the server and two other patrons before they spring into action and take her down. But it's not without a serious injury to Id.
Can I roll it back to the point of the transformation?
Yeah, he says sure, and he hands you the remote.
So I roll it back. I press rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm, I'm kind of fidgeting with it, so I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I call over my handler, Rivers, Miss Rivers, and I ask her, can she please assist me with trying to get a clearer focus on that image just before the transformation.
Okay, so she goes to a workstation. The entire table is one of those touchscreen workstations. So she calls it up, logs in, and she says, "I'm going to try to enhance it, but this CCTV footage is garbage." So asking what frames that you're looking at, what specific frame, just as she's transforming.
I want about 10 minutes prior, all the way up onto the transformation.
Okay.
I want to see her walking in, like if this is a patron before she transferred, and she became possessed or whatever. The minute she goes into the TV and the minute the transformation happens, I want to see if there's anything out of the ordinary in that scene. Like if she came into contact with anything, with anyone, if there's a shimmering light, anything that would be remotely occult or demon. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. About 7 minutes into that footage, you can see the her call sign or her villain name was Venom. Right? It was Venom. I can't remember.
I believe so.
Yes,
That was kind of her trademark.
That was her trademark. Yeah. So, so he's like, well, there she is, and she sits at a table near the window. Doesn't necessarily go to get anything to eat, and sits there for about 4 minutes, and someone else walks in. They're covered up in a hoodie, so you can't really get a good view of a face. But they come in and they hand her something. He pulls something out of the pouch from his hoodie and he hands it to her. It looks black in her hands, and you can see she opens it up. It looks like a not a ring box, but something you would keep a larger piece of jewelry. And she pulls out and she holds up what looks like a necklace, and looks up at the guy, and you can see her face moving as if she's talking. And then he turns around and walks out. So at this point,
is there any way to get a visual on what was handed to her?
The what it looks like is it looks like a square, not square, but a rectangle medallion. It's about from that angle, it looks like a sliver of a piece of metal, and she turns it over in her hand and then throws it over her head and tucks it under her shirt.
So see if she could slow frame it to see if we can catch any images on that medallion.
No, the quality of the video is not. She can't enhance it any more than that.
Is there anything distinctive outside on that medallion at all? Anything?
No, it's a black and white. It's a black and white video, and there's no sound.
Any engraving?
Nothing that you can see.
Is that in part of the property that they recovered when they carried her to the coroner's office?
So she goes to the subfolder in her coroner's report, and she's looking up the property that was checked, and she said nope, there was no piece of jewelry, just 2 rings.
Did anybody ever bother following up to look at the crime scene? Did the forensics recover?
Yeah, the forensics went over everything.
Did they recover anything from the scene?
Nothing. No other. She said there's nothing cataloged here. Nothing but her rings and the possessions of her 2 victims, or her 3 victims. Excuse me.
I'm gonna walk over and just see what they're looking at. Roll
it back to the individual.
You guys are all in the room, so it's it's not like
Roll it back to the individual.
yeah.
See if there's any distinctive about the individual. The shoes, the height, maybe a skin color, anything that would give any type of detail that will offset him outside the hoodie.
The
Is he using a cane?
No.
Walking
Okay,
stick?
so it's the using using your own skills. You were able to determine that he's approximately 6'2", and thin, slim build. He was wearing it's black and white, so you can't tell the color, but it looks like a black hoodie and like dark blue jeans, dark blue denim jeans, and for the most part he had his hands in his pockets. But I'm gonna make you roll a perception. As a matter of fact, since everyone's there, you guys can roll a perception too. You guys will get a penalty, so your perception is going to be a little bit higher. Okay, so Gabe rolled 16. Okay.
16.
All right. Don't be everywhere, Mad Id. You're not there. Got a song for you. Don't make me bust it out. Okay. Being as you guys all made it. So one of the things that you notice is that he has a tattoo on his the inside of his wrist as he was handing it to her, and it looks it's a circle, and it looks like it has some ornate markings around it.
Try and get a sketch of it and have them run it through the system to see if it matches anything on file.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, do you have art as a skill? Because I want to start using skills more without bogging down the game. If you have it, then that's great. If you don't, having the art skill is going to give you the opportunity to make. Well, you can't roll that because he's the only one saying that he's doing it.
Oh.
No, actually, I said have them
Who?
make a sketch of it so we can run it through the system because I don't have that skill. I don't have
Okay.
art.
I wasn't clear on whether or not you were going to do it yourself, but in any event, all right. So
No, I'm not. I don't have that skill. So that's why I said have them do the sketch.
Okay.
So that they can run it through the system.
Okay. So
I can
mean,
actually do that.
if you have art, so Morgan's gonna. If that's the case, then yes, Morgan, that skill check would have succeeded. So you guys basically are sketching, are doodling away as he's saying that.
Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use my occult skill and my myth skill? And also, let's try my magic. I'm just gonna use those three as a check.
Mm-hmm.
If I can recall anything, if that symbol's familiar for some reason.
Okay.
Coming across my travels, coming across my studies, something.
I'm just gonna come out and I'm adding everything together. I know, like, are you looking for something supernatural on that? From what I see,
He's talking to you, Sage.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that again?
are you looking for something supernatural?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. She was possessed.
Okay, but that doesn't say anything. What type of possession? What was the possessing entity?
Oh, it was a demonic entity.
Huh?
It was a demonic entity. I'm only indicating it because you're the only one in the room that seems to know of it, since you're searching for it.
What type of demonic entity? There's so many of them.
Not from this world.
Specifics.
None that we know of.
They brought about. We won't know what to tackle or how to fight it.
I specialized in that, and I'm letting you know that it's nothing known.
Okay. In order, Lou, for the roles. The first one was the occult in folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was demon monster. The last one was magic.
Okay.
Unless I have a penalty, I made all three.
Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm sorry. I heard you guys. Blue Skidoo, we can too.
Oh, and also I think it's akin to the one that's trying to hunt me down as well. I only have maybe a few hours left before my protection that I purchased drops, and it can hunt me down again. I'm invisible to it at the moment.
Okay.
And I show him the
I
talisman.
made the principles of magic. I made the occult and sect lore, folklore lore. The one I missed was the demon monster lore, which actually kind of makes sense, being that I don't know what I'm dealing with yet. So you're being hunted by a supernatural creature?
Yes. And it took the form of me. It was following me until I went into a spiritual shop to speak to someone of our caliber that deals with supernatural. And I was able to purchase a necklace from him to protect me against it. I was able to see it, but it didn't see me after I got the talisman. If I probably remove this talisman, or the strength of it is only going to last me 24 hours, I was told, then it will come after me again.
We'll deal with it when that happens. But wait, you said it looked like you?
It took my shape, yes. But it was weird because it was as if no one can see it. It was across the street at the time, and I give him the address to the Santero shop. Oh, excuse me, the voodoo shop or cult shop that I was at. I saw it across the street, and it was looking like me, but nobody paid attention to it. Which means only I was able to see it, or it only allowed me to see it.
Okay.
Possibly a doppelganger of some sort that was going to take my place. I don't know.
With his description, if he could be more descriptive, can I be forwarded a roll to see if I could determine what type of creature that is?
No, that was too generic description.
So that's what I'm saying. If he were more specific,
Can I draw something?
As far
or
as I
try
can
to-
tell, that was as specific as he was going to
I
be
was
able
able
to
to
do. Going to be able to be, rather.
would you be able to draw it?
Possibly. I can try.
I mean, he would just be drawing himself.
No, but I mean, is it himself, like in the sense like a perfect duplicate, like a mirror image, or is it like a shadow that looked like him? Or is this, you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, and the answer to that is it was a mirror image.
Mirror image that was hunting him that he only could see. Yeah, still too generic.
Which also was what led me here. And they gave Mr. Johnson a message, my family, to leave and run. Which I think I'm already too late since it's already hunting me. That's why I haven't left. I wouldn't want to take whatever that is back to England with me, and possibly a bunch of corpses following me.
I'm sorry, I can't help you with all that. I don't know enough.
You are useless. No.
I don't know enough. I don't know you. I don't know your family. I don't know what you're into. I don't know the reason why they would have somebody hunt you or a demon hunt you. I mean, there's too many. There's too many variables.
The one thing, though, that I was able to track down here with all the people that my family knew, there was this one family named the Simmons family that was stopping me from finding any additional information out. Everyone I knew, they would just stonewall me. And the only thing I was able to find out, it's all leads back to this family named the Simmons, which is old world money.
Now, question:
Mm-hmm.
Would my training have given me any type of information on the Simmons?
No, not at this juncture.
Okay. All right. So again, I mean, there's too many things. Oh, one thing everyone will notice that's in the room, when it comes to my job, like what I'm trained to do, I'm extremely assertive, but I'm still not boisterous about it. It's just you will get more information and you will get more dealings with me. Whereas when it's not related to anything that I don't know, I will just stay quiet. So,
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. The cult role is the one that you do succeed in. That symbol can either be Egyptian or ancient Persian.
could it also be a combination to be a new tag, a new logo?
I can't stop you from making that correlation, but I can't say. I'm not going to confirm or deny. So it could
Yes.
is basically
So-
all is the best that I can say at this juncture with
So-
what little information you have.
Looking up the symbol for both Persian or Egyptian,
Mm-hmm.
what does it represent?
Death.
Either version.
Yes.
My question is, can all of us see this symbol?
You
Yeah,
drew
yeah.
it.
You're the one that you drew. It.
Oh,
Well, I
so-
mean, you guys didn't draw it to scale. It wasn't perfect, but whatever what you were able to get, that's what you saw.
I'm going to use my language skill,
Mhm.
since ancient Egyptian is part of Sanskrit, to see what I can discern from it. Since I know the symbol.
Like I just said, it's a symbol of death. It's used in ancient. It's used in ancient rituals. It's a symbol of. It's a symbol that is often found in rituals of death rituals.
So something in a ritual of like burial
So
or summoning.
Summoning.
Dark summoning. So this is a summoning symbol
question
from the Egyptians.
also relate to a hunter. One that deals death. In other words, like right now, his situation.
Like a predatorial type creature.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I need to take like a 10-minute break. Everybody take a 10-minute break, and when I come back, I'm gonna go to Patch and Id, and then we're gonna try to do a quick round robin so that we can get as much out of this as we possibly can. Okay, so everyone take a break, enjoy some funny music.
Good old Patches.
Yeah, we're back. We will be editing out this that break in the replay. So it dropped for some reason, and I don't know if he's going to come back, but that leaves go that maybe Sybil and a Fibble. I don't know what the hell I just said, but
No, he did not go to Sybil Fibble.
Sybil Fibble.
Oh, fuck. yo.
Easy Boo Boo and Sybil Fibble. All right. Anyway,
You motherfuckers is
so going back, I'm gonna go to Patch. He's been patient. You were working with the information that you had from the last game, and we're gonna fast forward to the situations aren't concurrent, so you're able to move forward. In moving forward to the next day, you're now concurrent with the other group.
Okay.
Yeah.
you get to the college, you get to the university, and you met with the director. He's the dean of technology. Is Travis Gilborn. See, I do remember occasionally I get my notes together, which is why I bought a bunch of notebooks just to keep it all together in one spot.
I just wish I could find the notes I was writing down.
I didn't delete them. It wasn't me. Okay.
Lies.
Liar. What was that? Oh, that was that movie with Christopher Walken. He shot his kid in the head. The kid he's like, "What did you say to the cops?" The kid was just like, "Nothing." Daddy, he was like, "Liar, blah blah." I was like, "Damn."
Nah, I was thinking more of Princess Bride.
Oh no, that was boo, boo.
No. Liar.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Go away, witch." He's like, "Get away from me, witch." He's like, "I'm not a witch. I'm your wife."
I saw.
He said to blave.
To blame. He's mostly dead, not all dead.
To blave. He's like, bye bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
I remember that.
So
Hit you with
I
the
will forever be.
He's like,
As a matter of fact, after this, I'm going to watch that movie.
that wasn't very sporting, but I could hit you with this rock. And he's like, no, I'm quite all right with that.
we get that.
It's like, I figured out why you give me so much trouble. It's like, I'm usually fighting so many more men. And chokes out Andre the Giant. Please. There's no way that was happening. All right.
He was the pirate.
It's like, hey, you keep saying that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
All right.
So Dean, the assistant brings you back to the lab. There, still you can still see that the segments of the plate that they're working on, the superconductive plate, and they're running some. They're just running some preliminary tests. A couple of the lab techs and assistants and students. They're poring over documents. They're going over displays, and you can see them working on calculations and formulae. Some of them are really good. As you're passing by, you're just looking at, all right, that makes sense. Some of them are a little off by a couple of calculations here and there. So in all, they're just behind. They're behind you in where your research has taken you, and the things you've already discovered. But they're right on the. You can tell that they're on the right path.
Right.
So he's just like, and so what do you? He said, I was excited to get your call so soon. I thought you were going to give us some time, but hey, all hands on deck. We absolutely welcome your input on this. So he takes you to the big board, is what they call it. It's in the center chamber. It's one of those old. He's like, it's like, with all this tech, I get it. It's like, I'm still an analog guy at heart, so you can see the huge board, like a dry erase board with calculations, and it's all written out. There's a guy on a ladder that he's working on a sequence here, and someone at the bottom on the right there. So he says this is the active baby. I need something that I can touch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you.
So, were you able to figure out anything that we? It's like, this is it. This is our baby. So, if you need anything, please.
I try to point out some of the calculations
Mm-hmm.
where they will get stonewalled. So I'll help them get to the point where the companies are trying to stonewall them to. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the rest of it. And they don't.
Okay. I know what you're talking about where that they're being held back.
Right.
Okay.
So I try to bring them to that point.
Okay.
With theories and stuff,
Okay.
Try to figure, and then it sounds like I tell them that I feel like I'm stymied at this point. It's like there's something there, but not there at the same time that I just can't see.
Question for you: Do you what kind? Excuse me. What kind of equipment do you carry? Like diagnostics? Do you have? 'Cause I pretty much gave you a lot more leeway, because with this system, tech is not. I mean, let's be real. When this system was written, it was what, the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah.
They still have in the book the cellular phones, like 1G phones, and it's not brought to
They've
date.
got Walkmans.
Yes. There's the CD players and Walkmans in them. So
And cassette player.
oh my
cassette
God,
recording.
yeah, I remember those. I remember having to use one of these in order to rewind them.
Yep.
when the Walkman ate them, you just had to use one of these. Like, son of a bitch! I stayed up 6 hours recording this from the club mix on the radio station. Do they even do those
Oh
anymore?
my
Anyway,
God,
that's a
yeah.
sidetrack. So he's you're going through them. A couple of his students are watching you go through them, and they're all taking notes and talking amongst themselves. You're all talking shop. It's actually a good environment for you. You're surrounded by people that you feel understand what the hell you're talking about. Your wife tries to keep up, but she's not at that level. She's more of a managerial. I'm going to keep the kids in line, keep the business running. You come up with the ideas that it's going to make us a little bit of money. And your partner is still working on the East Coast, and he sent you a message that you should be receiving all the equipment requisitions within a day.
All right.
Yay!
Okay.
So I got a tablet. I got my phone.
Mhm.
I always have my suit with me,
Okay.
but I only have it on in parts because I don't want to just wear the whole thing.
Okay. Are you wearing any of it now?
The gloves.
Okay, because
I
I'm
have
not
like
trying to
a-
trigger you into thinking that something's about to blow up. I just
No,
want to
no.
know.
I always have the gloves because I use the Mechanical-Link.
Okay, yeah.
So I always have like the gloves, or I have a down to a ring or something,
Mm-hmm.
so I can touch with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was also doing the research on the Mechanical-Link. If I can connect to it remotely, like with Wi-Fi or something,
Mhm.
it'll still work also.
Oh,
Just let you know.
with the gloves?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
don't have to touch it as long as I can have some form of communication with it, because in the stupid book it says modem.
Right. That's
But,
that's what I'm saying. So yeah,
So Wi-Fi.
it would be updated for Wi-Fi. And it's like net zero. You have mail.
like, no.
Yeah, that's AOL.
Like,
This
I remember those. It's just like, oh my
The kids
God.
from nowadays
like-
will never know our pain.
He's like, hold on, it's still.
They will never know 4-bit. They will never know 54K.
So wait, is that a
Yeah,
boob?
okay.
I think it's
No, I
loading
still-
up a boob.
I still got that freaking modem in my garage. I found it the other day.
Sell that shit to a museum, the Smithsonian.
He's
and
like,
shit.
is that a
actually
booby?
have it.
Oh no! Don't pick up the phone. And then when someone picks up the phone, everything goes. It's like, no.
Anyway.
That was 6 hours to wait for one titty. Anyway.
Oh man, those were the days.
All right. So, all of that's happening, and there's when you bring them, you're gonna bring them up to speed, up to where you were stymied, right? Because
We'll bring them up to the point where I should be stymied,
Okay. So
because I can't tell them what I know without them questioning how I know it.
right. Okay. Well, that's a good distinction to make, because everything that you're doing is basically leapfrogging them weeks and months in research. So what you have right now is a collection of oohs and ahs, and a growing fan base of college age kids that are just like surrounding you like some sort of geek rock star. And the one thing that you notice is that there's a student who's at a workstation at the far end. He's running some diagnostics, and he seems like he has his hand on. You can spy it from the back. You don't see his face, but you can see him like running his hands through his hair. He's just like,
Like, what the fuck?
yeah.
So I'm looking at him. I'm watching him, and I slowly ease my way over there and take
Okay.
a look over his shoulder.
Just so you understand, there's no easing.
Everyone's following me.
You
right?
have a group. You have
I have a
groupies.
group.
They're asking
I go take a
they're
look.
asking you questions and going over, handing you tablets and saying, "What about this? Oh my God, what calculation? This is amazing. How did you figure this out? You're a spy. Kill him." No, I'm just kidding. So you go over to him
It doesn't matter
and
which or an assassin.
right, he's still saying, "What the fuck?" He's typing up. You can see he's typing up a string, right? And as he's typing it in, it doesn't give him an error. It just blanks out, and then the command prompt comes back on for that particular that particular workstation, and he's just like, he sees, he's like, holy shit, don't sneak. he's like, why are you all staring at me? Because you have like 6 people around you. And he didn't even notice any of you because he's so engrossed in what he's doing. He's like, what the fuck? Don't think about me!
Like, what's wrong, bro?
Hold on. Oh, God. You're not going by patch, obviously.
No,
Okay.
not here.
So he's like, I'm trying to run a simulation here. He says, I can't get this effing thing to work. He said, it shouldn't give me this problem. And he's like, I've run 3 diagnostics on this. There's nothing wrong with this workstation, but it won't let me input this command. I don't know what the hell's going on.
What's the command?
And then it's basically a test run execute for the plates, and it's not a full execution of the startup sequence, but he's trying to get to that point where the errors have been happening, like the big blowback, and without actually starting the whole process. So he's just running a test simulation, and the test sim will not go through. He's typing. You can see he types in the string, and to your eyes it looks perfectly normal, and it says execute yes at Y/N. He types in Y, and and then it comes right back to the command prompt. It's like, fuck.
What the hell?
Stupid.
What the fuck is this? It's like, okay, I need sugar. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna go to the vending machine and before I punch this thing, I feel like I'm gonna punch it and just. It's worth. It's worth like 3 times my tuition, but I will fuck this thing up.
Wait.
He's like, if you can do something with this, please do something with it.
So I go over to it and I start running. Go to the physical diagnostic for the machine itself.
Okay.
What I'm really doing is I'm diving into the machine with the Mechanic to find out what's stopping the. I'm quite sure it's a program stopping the code, right? Like a virus or something.
Okay, so that's after you dive into it. So people are around you talking. Now the issue is when you dive in, you're not. It's not one of those Ichigo situations where you just fall over. By the way, that kid should have died like 8 times, just in the first week of watching that series. I was like, how is he alive? His head should have cracked on the cement like 150 times. Anyway, sorry, that was.
It's all that training with his father.
Yeah, seriously. Good morning, Ichigo.
And he's gone.
Right. Okay. When you dive in, and it's the same. If I had to put a visual to it, it would
Uh-huh.
be the White Room from The Matrix when
Right.
you enter it. It's a vast whiteness. It's just the light is it would be blinding if it were your real eyes. How's that? And at once there's a rush. And by rush I mean it feels tactile. It's almost as if you feel this whole scenery just shift right in front of you. I don't know how this mosquito got in my house, but I am going to flamethrow it.
Good luck with that.
No, seriously, I hate them so much. 'Cause apparently I have caramel blood. Because they love it. Anyway. Motherfucker. Oh, sorry. The scenery rushes past you, and you're taken to a place that this character knew WizKid.
Me? No, I never
No,
met him.
okay, you never met him. All right.
Never got a chance.
So when you get to this spot, it's sort of it takes on a Japanese theme. You're in this Japanese garden. There's the wraparound wooden porch, the bamboo screen doors, the high arches for the pagoda. In the center there is a digital garden with a stream and a fountain that's pouring out water. And again, the thing that throws you is because you've never experienced it at this level, is that you feel it. You instinctively reach out to touch the wood, and you can feel the grains in the wood. You can see the markings underneath the polish, indicating the age of the wood, and you're just like, what is going on here?
So carefully looking around.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exactly right. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
It's like,
So
where
I mean,
is it?
instinctively, since it feels all real, the first thing I do is like, hello.
Yeah. I got to remember to do this in concert with the sounds. As soon as you appear in this place, you're like, something's amiss. All right. Hello. You call out, and you don't hear anything at first, but you can at some point you hear footsteps, like heavy wooden, like those clogs
Sandals.
that they wear is like clack, clack,
Yeah.
clack, 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 clack. And at the end, the place it's square shaped, so it's very symmetrical, and from where you stand to the end of that walkway, which makes a left, which makes another left, and then follows to where you're standing. So it's like a squared circle.
Right.
Directly ahead of you, in the center of that walkway, you can see a figure. You can see two figures. The shadow of them behind the bamboo doors. They kneel and slide it open. You can see it's two women dressed as geishas. But there's something off about them. Their features are over exaggerated. The slants in their eyes, the heavy makeup, and it looks at once digitized, but high definition. So whatever programming was worked into this thing, it's exaggerated, but it's not pixelated, is what the word I'm looking for. And as they open it, you can see this what looks like he's about 35, about 5'8", and he's carrying his two swords, his two the daisho and the I can't remember.
It's Daisha.
Yeah, so he's carrying his daisho. I said it right the first time, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good man.
Okay, pat my back. I'm patting my own back. Okay. And hold on a second. He walks out. He's wearing the traditional samurai armor, but without the helmet.
Okay. So I'm a little leery.
And he comes to the edge of that of the banister, which is the word I was breaking my brain over.
All right. I
You do not belong here. How did you get here? Who are you?
I'm investigating an issue with the program. Who are you?
You are biological. You are not a program. How did you accomplish getting here?
I have my means.
You must leave this place immediately. Or
Why?
I will be forced to remove you.
This at that point, with his hand on his daisho, he thumbs it in that intimidating samurai way. You can hear clink.
He clicked it?
Yeah, he opened it, but he didn't draw the sword. Behind him, you can see the one that you can see from your line of sight, because she's at an angle to your left. The one on the right is still a shadow behind the bamboo door. Her features are starting to morph.
Morph
Like
into what?
her face is starting to elongate. It's becoming bestial.
All right. Yeah. So I think I left my my teapot going. I'll catch you later, buddy.
All right. Assuming you're disconnecting. When you realign yourself with your body, with your physical presence, this one of the students, she's staring at you. She's like, "What's your character's name again? Your human name? Your
Reyes Acosta.
Okay." She's like, "Dr. Acosta, are you all right?" And you just, it's as if you let out a breath you've been holding for 20 minutes. That's how hard you're breathing out. You're just and like sweat coming down your, just pouring all over you. Are you all right?
Damn.
Are you having a heart attack? Do I need to call 911? Somebody call
No,
911!
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I just really get
She's
into
like, get him a seat.
I really-
Get him a chair.
I really get into my work. That's all it is. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Getting to your work. It was like you weren't even here.
Sorry.
You're a freak. Kill him. No, I'm just kidding. It's just like, are you sure you're all right? Like the other
Oh
students,
yeah.
they're just
I'm fine.
buzzing around you like, mutant freak, kill him.
Like no, I'm fine. I'm fine. This machine is really something up with this though.
But it looks like you got it working. And you can see you can see that line. Excuse me, to execute it, and it's cycling up. You can see it's working through a bunch of the programs in order to run the simulation.
So now it's doing it?
Yep.
What the fuck? I didn't do anything really. All right.
Part of this is going to be because of Seraph. So I'll tell you that after, but
You'll tell him that after?
I'll tell you once the game is over, and this way you can get an idea, because
All right.
you're not there. He's not here to play. And Gabe's got to take off. Okay, so we'll realign him. Gabe, how much time do you have left? Do you have to go now?
Yeah, I need to go hit the dishes.
Can you come back, or are you working at an industrial grade dishwasher?
Unfortunately, no. It's by hand, and it's everything from this morning up. So.
Wow, that must be a lot of people in that house. All right, man. So if, just log off when you need it, and then I'll have to adjust everyone's screens. But that's cool. And watch the last 10 minutes of the video. This way, you'll understand where we are when you come back.
Okay, send me a link in the chat here, on Zoom.
Sure. Alrighty. Dun dun dun. Get rid of that. There we go. You guys aren't too bad, I think.
No, that was an improvement. What are you doing? No.
There we go with that guy. Crimson Sage is fine. You're cool, but that's your symbol there, so let's move it up. Okay. Now, it seems it works through the whole process, and there are a couple of different lines of different errors which correspond to the blocks that you've been having.
Right.
So that's where that's where that leads. But the tech comes back, and he's just like, "Whoa, you all right?" Because
Yeah.
you have your collar is soaked, you have pit stains. You just like they handed you some paper towels, and you're sopping that off. And he's like, he goes from you to the console. He's like, "Oh, you got it working. Cool, thanks."
You're welcome.
So the girl's like, "You idiot! He almost had a heart attack and died." I was like, "What? What? Heart attack?"
Listen,
So do we need to call 911?
I put-
Call 911.
I put my hand on her shoulder. I'm like, "Are you guys hungry?"
It's like the frustrated tech. He's just like, "I am starving."
All right.
He
So-
almost died. What are you talking about? Food?
I pull out my phone and I make an order to the college. Like, what you guys want?
So he's like, "I don't know if I can eat now. You're scaring me. My dad died like this. I don't know if I can eat."
You sure? You look like you're hungry.
Well, I don't know. I could go for some pizza, but I don't know if I could eat it.
All right. So I order pizza. I order pizza for everybody.
Okay.
Pizza. Can't go.
So the Dean Gilborn comes back. He's like, "I heard there was an emergency. Is everything all right? Are you feeling all right? Do we need to call 911? Call 911!"
We're fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
He's having a heart attack. Ooh.
He's dying. Clear. He's like, "I'm okay. Clear."
Not okay anymore. Ah. No.
All right. So
What was that scene in Kung Pao? Oh, it hurts.
he's like, "I'm bleeding, making me the victor." So
Anyway, so
they-
yeah, I do that. I order the food for everybody.
right.
Get it
And-
sent out.
so the one tech, we'll call him Leo.
Deal.
He says, "How did you get this to work? I just it wouldn't." And he's looking up at the dean. He's like, "It wouldn't effing work."
I don't know. I mean, I was fiddling with the settings and stuff, and I just got it to work. I don't know how. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, actually.
You said boo.
So
That wasn't you. That was the sound.
the panicking one. Her name is Amy. She's just like, it was as if he merged with the machine and it just willed it to working. This guy's amazing, and I think he's gonna die soon.
I'm not gonna die.
It's like, get him some water. Get him some water.
Give him some space.
Let him breathe. Clear. Okay. So, what are you gonna do from moving forward? Because unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stop it because Orion's gone and it is gone too, and we can possibly pick this up another time, but it's really up to what you guys are doing. What are you doing specifically now that you got this? So the workstation is running through the diagnostics. You don't understand how. You saw what you saw. That's the first time you've encountered something like that. It has a matrixy feel to that. Whatever that was, did give you the sense that you were in imminent danger. You've never fought in cyberspace before. You don't know anything about that kind of environment yet,
Right.
but you felt tactile, your senses as if you were in that environment from where you were in the safety of that laboratory to that environment was a complete shift in your paradigm. So all of that is just new information that's just flooding into you. However, just so there's some correlation. Seraph did go through something similar, but in a different environment, and he did explain it to you. I remember he did talk to you
Yeah,
about
that happened to us, and we were with that PFC,
Yes,
and that's what I gave him the catapult to defend himself with. and-
right. But you were on the outside,
Right.
not on the inside. He was on the inside, and that's his world. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. That's his worldview from being a living AI. You, on the other hand, are not. So that's all. That was all
and
new.
scary.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, since I was in there already,
Mhm.
I record the MAC address. I keep a record of the MAC address for this terminal.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and come back and revisit this at a later date. I'm gonna talk to Seraph about it
Mm-hmm.
and see if together we can go, access it from the outside and see if we can figure something out.
Okay.
You just need to determine whether it's the ghost in the shell or the architect.
Could just be both.
The ghost of the architect in the shell.
Yep, that's it.
Architect in the shell. There.
Okay. So we're gonna go back to Crimson Sage and Morgan. You guys were still going over the information. As far as language is concerned, there was no actual language. It was more of a symbol. So there's no written language.
Sanskrit is symbolic.
Yeah, I understand. So the symbol isn't Sanskrit. That's the thing. It has aspects of it. It has.
Hieroglyph. We just don't know which.
That's the word I was looking for. Son of a bitch. Thank you very much. It was more of a hieroglyph than it was an actual language.
But you do understand that the hieroglyphs.
Yes, it's a language. It is a picture. It is a symbol. It meant death.
I'm fucking with you, man.
No, I get it. And that's negative 400,000 XP. So it is a symbol. You understood it to mean death. You both understood the symbol to mean death. Now, here's the thing. As you're talking, you mentioned Simmons. The assistant director is like, why does that name keep coming up? It's just it's like those.
Sir,
He's like,
why
listen.
do we keep getting told that we're not supposed to investigate?
I said,
According to
because
Orion, we supposedly are not to investigate.
so he says, he's like, okay, this is off the record and off the books, just so that we're clear. If word of this comes out, at least it leaves this room, we're probably all going to be smashing rocks in some Turkish prison at the bottom of it. The Simmons family is old money. Founding of this country, old money. And they trace their heritage back to Eastern Europe, Middle East. So pretty much every civilized society that sprung up, some offshoot of their family is there. It's like Simmons isn't even their family name, from what I understand it. That's the name that they're going by now. Now, I've been doing my own research on this. Been working with my other team from the East Coast, who unfortunately went rogue and are now being hunted. So me and my counterpart, who's now under investigation, and is under severe scrutiny, which is why we had to pull back on this. Because once we started looking into them, it seems like all sorts of triggers were pulled to the highest levels, and I'm not talking I'm not talking my boss. I'm talking about the boss of the country. But I truly believe that this extends beyond that. I think this is a cabal of old money that wants something and they certainly don't want us to figure it out. So the other is that there was a tanker, not a tanker,
Tanker, yeah.
a cargo ship that went missing not too long ago. It's like that there was a team of metahuman. There was a group of rogue metahumans that were working together with an old friend of mine, by the call sign of Mercury, who suddenly disappeared off the face of the earth. How do you get rid of a tanker that's moored in plain sight? It says this id character. He said no. This Detective Johnson character. He's somehow involved in all of this. I don't know how. I don't know how far it goes. I don't even know how deep it is. But whatever it is that he's a part of, it's a big part. And we need to figure out what it is that they want from him. What is his role in all of this? And the problem is
question.
Yes.
Do I know about all the events that have gone on so far?
No, because there's no official record of the tanker, the other group, nothing. And nobody was working.
Not about the groups. I'm talking about the actual events that have
Well,
transpired.
the blotting of the sun.
The thing in Los Angeles, the
Yep.
thing in Britain.
Yes, those are what you know is what's public knowledge. So when Genevieve,
So what is? And then that's what
I'm
I'm
saying,
asking.
when Genevieve Simmons went on national television saying that she was robbed and molested and beaten, and they wanted to kill her, and
Damn. Now it's Rob molested.
and it was this one guy called Avalon. He was the ringleader.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's public information is what you know. So what happened with the group specifically? No. What was regaled to everyone across national news, and the fact that she put out a $15 million bounty on each one of their heads in return, so that they can return her niece to her, who's still missing. You know that part. You know about the incursion in Los Angeles of the worms, followed by those bipedal humans that were taken over. You know about that part too. And the monastery that was blown up.
Monastery?
Yeah, that was in the Champions edition.
Yeah, so when we made the conversion, it was still the same
yeah.
story. So,
So, sir, what you're telling us, direct, is that Simmons have something to do with all these things that have been transpiring globally?
what I'm saying is that every time I've made inquiries, every time I've dug up some old contacts, every time something has happened in the last few months, the name comes up.
So, okay. What it sounds to me, sir, and if I may be so bold,
You may not, because your character's shy.
our hands are tied.
proverbially and practically literally.
So then, what do you expect us to do?
I expect you to do your job and find Detective Johnson. I need him here so that I can make my inquiries and figure out what his part in all this is. And by all this, I still don't know what all this may be. So, but I have my own people looking into different aspects, different avenues. They say it's not just here, Agent Sage. It's not just here, Agent Sage. It's global. So I have people out in MI6 working on this. I have people in the SAS. I have even people in the FSB working on this. I have a network of my own that I'm trying to safeguard from the pullback on this. Because we as a metahuman task force are on the precipice of either being shut down and made illegal, or we can grow and try to do good in the world. But with these people, with this kind of influence, with the money that they have, they can either make it extraordinarily difficult, or they can encourage us to do something completely within their plans. I don't even know what the hell their plans may be. Maybe they're benign. Who the hell knows? I don't believe that they're benign, considering all the bodies that are being left in the wake of some of the things that have happened. It's like, but it's like everything that comes up finds its way into a shredder. So what I have is what I have. I have analog files secured away, but anything with a digital footprint is gone.
You said that that's not their actual family name.
No.
Do you happen to know what their family name is?
This is the only one that I have that traces back to was it 17th century was Simon Isis.
Simon Isis. Does that sound familiar? Can I roll check?
Sure.
Give me a sec. 12.
Okay. It is it's the name of a occult. It's the name of a family that was deep into the occult during the Mesopotamian era. You're muted, Morgan.
No, I was saying back then it was a religion, not a cult.
Well, he's saying cult. Like you understand it to be a cult, whether religion or not. They no longer exist. But any record of them, the fact that they were so obscure, it's because of the role. I say that you may have come across it and it piqued your interest, but there was no other supporting information, so it just went into your memory banks, and that's as far as it went.
So if that were the case, then what I'm going to do, right, is see. Not out. Because I may have come across it through my training. Because
Yeah,
remember,
I couldn't hear what you just said. You went in and out.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry. I'm saying if that were the case that it piqued my interest,
Mm-hmm.
they came across through my training because we're versed into the various things bump in the night.
Mm-hmm.
If it happened to be one of the things that they had information on, then it may be in my family records. But the problem is, I'd have to actually physically go there in order to investigate the library, and that would take too long.
Is that your family library calling you?
Yep, it is on cue. Te llamo ahorita, mi amor. Hey, estoy.
Estoy busy.
Te llamo. A punto de terminar. Ciao. Okay, so
Okay.
so I tell the assistant director
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to help you with that because I may have come across some information. I don't know how much. I don't know if it's relevant. I don't know if it even give us a lead. But the problem would be that I'd have to physically go to the family library, and that's insane.
So, well, unfortunately, we have an active investigation. So
No, I understand that.
that's
I mean,
he says that's the problem. And is there any way that you can access those records remotely? Can you link up with someone in your family to do that?
well, from what you're saying, it would not be wise to communicate via any electronics. And the good thing is that that particular source of information is, like you said, all analog. So unless somebody knew of it, it should still be safe. But the conundrum here would be, I would have to go back because in order to even send a message to let them know that I need these specifics, may go out there to the unwanted ear. And it seems like whomever it is that's pulling the strings, from what you're telling me, is one step ahead all the time.
Yeah, that is the thing.
My question to you would be, how important is this investigation on the Simmons?
Depends on how deep the rabbit hole goes. Like
Well, from what you're saying, it goes pretty deep. Alice couldn't even reach it.
but these people are just they're main players, but not the only main players, is what I'm saying. We're talking about a group that is highly financed, they're funded, they're coordinated, and they're singular minded in whatever goal that they're trying to achieve. My thought is that they may even be part of why the sky went dark. I have no proof of that. Just a feeling. Just a hunch.
So, gotta remember his name. Dr. Schultz. No, Director Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, Assistant Director Schultz. So, why are we not investigating the rest of the people within that organization? If you have any other names, any other families that are that affluent, instead of going to Simmons directly, why don't we just dig up dirt on the rest of them?
Well, highly organized, highly funded, and well coordinated. That's the answer. It's like I had a group, I had a team. It's like I had a team a few years back. We were running ops. We thought we were making some headway, and my team disappeared. And I mean disappeared. No contact, no trace. If you Google their names, nothing comes up.
So they're real ghosts then.
Yes.
You're investigating them.
It's like I have half dozen agents, and working with different agents within other agencies. I'm only telling you this because this is part of the game, and otherwise I wouldn't be telling you people anything. Especially that white guy, that Morgan. He's a genius, isn't he? Here's my ID. He has it too.
So when
Are you piping in on this at any point, Morgan?
I'm just listening.
Okay.
so
I
when
don't know who
you,
the fuck this guy is. I just know he's a dude with a giant wolf.
so when your team disappeared, who were you investigating? It wasn't the Simmons then, was it?
It's like no, it was some shell corporation, and it was they were running. He says they were running artifacts, out of the Middle East and Europe. These artifacts, as I understand it, and I don't know if you, and it's like I'm not qualified to know if it's actual or not, but given what this agency is all about and the state of the world now, so these artifacts were considered to be highly prized magical items.
What was the agency?
I'm sorry?
What was the agency that was running the artifacts?
Oh, it was the Golden Dragon. So they're a front for the Yakuza. Not the Yakuza,
Yeah.
the Triad, excuse me.
Yeah,
Which ones?
the triads.
The Chinese.
Ones? What family?
Oh, I have that written down. I'll give that to you in the next game. Hold on. Nope, it's not on this page. But I have it written down. I'll let you know in the next game.
I mean, that's a lot of information, but it still gets us nowhere.
Yeah, no shit.
You have any idea or clue outside of Detective Johnson of what we should be doing next? Because obviously, for whatever reason, according to what you've said so far, Detective Johnson is it's the vector to all these things right now.
I have a suggestion. Since we know they import and export, if they're bringing anything here, we can try to see if there's any shell companies or anything that is moving anything within Los Angeles. Investigate there and see if we can find any leads from there.
So that's the thing. I had an agent working with that. It's like he went by the call sign of Mercury. He was investigating a tanker that was run by the Golden Dragons. He disappeared along with the entire fucking cargo ship.
So let's go find out. See if we can investigate, see how we can find him.
It's like, look, you're a civilian here, and I appreciate that your discretion in all of this because, quite frankly, as I understand it, your family is neck deep in this as well. And by neck deep, I mean they are they're not working with this cabal. They're working against it, or at least they were until they disappeared.
So
I just needed. He said, "I just needed for you to confirm it before I divulge this information." It's the only reason why you're in this room right now. So I understand you're highly intelligent and coordinated, but you have a lot to learn about how to proceed an investigation. The first thing is first, stop lying to the fucking LAPD. You do not work for us. You do not work for us, and you will not be given credentials. Second thing is you guys are just leaving a huge there's an arrow over your head saying come get me. So you need to work with a lot more discretion than you have right now.
how else would you get somebody to come to you except to leave meat out?
Yeah, but the problem is you're not getting the head of the snake, you're just getting the tail. So it'll be someone insignificant coming after you. It'll be a spoiler, a throwaway. That's how people operate.
That's how we know we're going on the right trail, and we can work our way up.
Not if you're dead.
This is true.
You're more useful with just the bit of information he just gave. Because if your family was working against them, then that's where we need to be going in order to find out any information they may have on the family that we're after. Just like in my family, I may have some information that I didn't even know about.
It's a lot of family stuff.
But we can't do that right now until we find Detective Johnson, wherever he is, which is also strange to me.
Yeah, he needs a better internet connection.
Assistant Director Schultz, he just seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, he did. He didn't even say anything. He was like,
I mean,
no,
He's like, no, I He said, "You're absolutely right." And why this guy, of all of them? He goes to the console, he types up a couple of things, and he gives you all of Detective Johnson's reports that he provided to the chief of police with regards to Giant Turtle, with regards to the house, with regards to the house blowing up in the neighborhood, drones, all that shit, the Whiz Kid, all of that. So that there's a lot of information that he was able to put down on paper.
But the turtle attack, which was his house, right?
Yeah. But he wasn't there for that.
No, he wasn't there. But because obviously that'll be in the reports, everything that's happened that's inspired, right?
Yeah. So there's
was that house from the precinct?
From his precinct, 10 minutes.
So less than a mile.
Oh, Mr. Sage, how well are you versed in the occult and magic? Out of curiosity.
I know everything. Everything.
I
am well versed. That's been my whole training.
Really? All right. So I'm gonna pull out the DVD. Get It Gaming here. Check this out. You can hold that if you want, so you figure everything out.
It's just a broken DVD.
He broke it in half. That was the message that Mr. Johnson said my parents told him to run away.
Well, I obviously can't sense magic.
You can? You're useless.
But looking over the DVD and everything around it, inside the cover, just looking through it, I'm looking for anything that would just be imperceptible. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask for a fingerprint dusting set kit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm also going to tell Shook to be one. He could take that.
They now use this UV kind of film. I'm going to put that over the broken CD and the cover and everything and highlight it. See if anything comes out of that.
You could also use resin.
Any writings?
Well, what do you mean? Like, are you looking specifically for fingerprints?
Not fingerprints. I'm looking for etchings.
One at a time.
I'm looking for etchings, wards, symbols, anything that may be on the cover.
Okay.
Or anywhere around the CD. It's broken now, so the enchantment is no longer viable. Maybe. But at least it'll give me a clue as to whether it was enchanted, and maybe I'll be able to read the information.
Okay.
And I'm also, and I'm going to tell Schultz if he wants to take that into evidence, because I think that's what caused it to be attacked at Chipotle.
What are you talking about?
He did something with it. He was in a trance, and he was in such a shock he broke it in half. And right after that, that's when the woman changed and started attacking everyone, and then went for him. I'm thinking it might have been meant for me.
Okay. Well, it's
negative evidence. Give it away from me. I think that's the shit that they're tracking me with. Get that shit away.
It's a witch. Kill him. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here. What Crimson Sage, you're getting all the diagnostic stuff so that you can look at the disc. Morgan, you're still with him.
The disc and the cover.
Okay. Patch is still at the college, shaking off his minor stroke. And we're going to come back to this next time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Heroes Unleash, and we will hopefully have a full group the next time and get back into it.
And they won't drop off.
And they won't drop off. Bastages. We're gonna edit out some of this stuff as far as like the break shit and repost it on YouTube and on Twitch. Until next time, thank you very much. Peace out.